Today, I'm going to talk about the lattice plots based on the library lattice. So I'm going to use the example on the empty cars, which is the embedded dataset on in R. So if you go to the empty cars dataset, so you have the different kinds of the vehicles, and with the MPG cylinder. Weight and then gear, like that. So if you want to look at the more details empty cars, so you can have the miles per gallon, number of cylinders, and gross horsepower, weight, engine, transmission, and gears, and carburetors, and etc. So we have this data set, and then now we would like to create a factor with the value levels. So we have the 3 and 4 and 5 on gears, and we would like to change the factors on here. So 3 gears, 4 gears, 5 gears, and then for number of cylinders 4 to 6 and 8, and we change the 4 cylinders, 6 cylinders, 8 cylinders in here. If you run it here, then suppose that we want to get the kernel density plot. So the kernel density is the non-parametric estimation of the density. So we would like to get the density of the MPG. So then we can use this density plot, and then you can run that. Then we can get the density plot of the MPG on here. So these are the dots with dots or observation where the density value is 0. Then nice is the distribution of the MPG non-parametric expressed as this shape. And if you want to get the density plots by factor level, so I would like to get a density plot. So we have this formula argument given on the cylinder by the cylinder number of cylinders, and if you run this one, and you can get the density plots by number of cylinders. So this is the density plot of the MPG by the number of cylinders. So we have 4 and 6 and 8. So we create the density plot of MPG by the number of cylinders in here. So you can see that there is a density of the MPG based on the factor that there is a difference between these the 3 kinds of the cylinders. So if you want to alter layout, so you can change this layout. You could see the 1 to 3, then which you get the vertical rather than the square one. So we have the 8 cylinder and 6 cylinder and 4 cylinders. And then you can easily notice the difference between the density of the MPG based on the number of cylinders in here. Then you can also get the box plot. So now we would like to get the box plot of the number of cylinders on MPG given the number of gears in here. So we use the function bw plot, and then you can see that we can have the box plot on number of cylinders and miles per gallon on each gear. So we can see that in 3 gears, the 8 cylinder has the most variation. And the 4 gears and the 4 cylinders is the most variation, and the 5 gears and 6 cylinders is the least variation. So we almost express it as lines and dots on here. So this is quite useful to look at the if you want to look at the box plots on each factor. And if you want to 3D scatter plot, you can use the function this cloud. Oh, sorry, let me explain this one again first. So you can get scatter plots for each combination of the 2 factors. So if you can use this XY plot So we would like to get the scatter plot on MPG on this weight on each combination of number of cylinders and number of gears. And if you run this one, then you can see the scatter plots of the MPG on the car weights on each combination of the cylinder and gears. So we have 5 gears, 5 gears on each cylinder, and 4 gears on each cylinder, 3 gears in each cylinder, and etc. So this is the also nice way to look at the scatter plot of the x and y, and on based on the combination of the factors in here. And then you can also create a 3D scatter plot using this cloud function. Then you can see a nice 3D plot on each number of cylinder with the MPG and the QSEC and the weight done here. So the way to do that is MPG on the weight combined with QSEC given the cylinder in here. And then for dot plot, you can just use dot plot command. So I would like to create a dot plot on the number of cylinder on the MPG given the gears. So in each gears, you can have each cylinder has the dot plot on the MPG. So you can see that the for 4 gears there are no 8 cylinders, and they're only for 3 gears and 4 cylinders there is only one observation, and for 5 gears with a 6 cylinder, and we have only one observation here. And for scatter plot metrics, you can use this SP-LOM. So you can run this one, you can get the scatter plot of the MPG, the DSP, HP, and drag and weight, which is specified as C, concatenate frequency 1, 5, 4, 5, 6 on here. So this is the, if you look at the scatter plot on each variable, then this is a nice way to look at it. Although this grid isn't kind of messy, but this is the nice way to look at the entire picture. Okay, so this is the basic introduction for the lattice plot.